if you invest in a way that's going to generate long-term capital gains, and you do that in the inherited IRA, those gains are, when the money comes out, those gains lose their identity. They become taxed as ordinary income.
Welcome to the Physician Family Financial Advisors podcast, where physician moms and dads like you can turn today's worries about taxes and investing into all the money you need for retirement and college.
Hello, physician moms and dads. I'm Nate Reineke, certified financial planner and primary advisor here at Physician Family Financial Advisors.
And I'm Ben Utley. I'm a certified financial planner and the service team leader here at Physician Family. So Nate, tomorrow is Halloween. Ooh. Yeah. And I want to know, since you've got youngins, what you're planning to do.
Well, normally we just, go trick-or-treating after work, but I'm more thinking about this, the costume choices. Oh. So my 4-year-old, I'm like, he's so interested in so many things. Like, he really likes, Paw Patrol and all that. Mm-hmm. But randomly, whenever we're at the store picking out Halloween costumes, he just picks whatever catches his eye. Uh-huh. I'm like, I don't remember this. I remember being really into something, and then that's what I was.
Are you telling me your 4-year-old has an eye for fashion?
I guess.
Nice.
So he's randomly Iron Man.
Sweet.
And he doesn't know what Iron Man is.
Yeah.
Never seen an Iron Man movie.
Not so sure that's a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
What about you? What are you doing?
Well, this is my first empty nester Halloween. We usually go over to a neighbor's house and have some homemade chili. This guy's name's Eric. He makes awesome chili. But you know what? This empty nestiness thing makes me think of the first time that I ever trick-or-treated with my daughter. This is like 23 years ago. Sorry, honey, if I forgot your birthday. You're older now. But I remember the very first time she ever said the word fun was when we were trick-or-treating on Halloween, and we had dressed her up, I kid you not, as a jalapeno. And so she's too little to walk. And so basically there's this jalapeno costume you stuff your child into, and their little face pokes out the jalapeno hole. You can't see their feet. You can't see their arms. It's basically like a straitjacket onesie shaped like and colored like a jalapeno pepper. And she evidently thought that was fun because the first time she ever said the word. So, and this is, in fact, her favorite holiday.
Halloween is favorite holiday of at least 2 people in my house.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's awesome.
All right. So we're here to answer physician family financial questions. So what is question number 1 today, Mr. Reineke?
Yes. So question number 1, plastic surgeon in Florida.
Oh, man. Woo, those guys got hit hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very true.
Okay.
Said, I'm just settling into my attending job. My wife and I are about to start our family. Mm-hmm. We have just jumped into retirement planning. My initial thought was to push really hard at work for the next 10 years so I can slow down in my 50s. What do you think about this approach?
Watch my face.
Yeah.
Wrong answer.
Yeah.
And everyone in the physician family audience screamed, no!
Yeah.
Ben and Nate say, yeah.
Say, I'm worried. I'm worried for you.
Yeah. Okay. So first off, plastic surgeon, right? I mean, apex predator in the physician world, highly compensated, works really hard, but doesn't have to work a whole lot to earn well. Right. Mm-hmm. And then wants to put on the afterburners. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they, they said, we're just starting our family.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make any commitments at work that could change really soon.
Yeah.
When you don't have children, you don't even know the energy that it will take. And that's everybody. That's no comment on them. It's just, you have to experience children before you can
as I like to say, it's like a sick little club, and you can't tell people what it's like before they join it.
Right.
So don't talk about Parent Fight Club.
So what do I think about this? I think it's an admirable thought.
Yep.
But it's a little backwards.
Yeah.
You push really hard in your 50s. Like, what exactly does that mean? Well, when I hear that, I hear I'm going to push really hard while I have young kids. And then once they're gone, I'm going to slow down and live a life of luxury.
Yeah.
That's just not really how it works.
Well, too bad they're not like a gastroenterologist, because they would know that pushing hard is bad.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, just like you said, a great income. You can make a ton of progress, retire pretty much when you like as a plastic surgeon without putting on the afterburners.
That's right.
So take it slow and
maybe push real hard right up until like the child is born, plus, if it's child is born plus maybe 3 months. I'm assuming that the plastic surgeon is male. I think you indicated the gender. There's certainly different advice if you're the one with the baby on board, right? But
right.
That's a great time to be pushing. But once the baby comes, there's all kinds of support that needs to be had, and then for me, my child stopped being like a Cabbage Patch Kid and something interesting. It became something incredible just about the time she started like rolling over and forming her first words, right? So that's when it got interesting, and I slowed down, and I have no regrets about that.
Yeah. I definitely
and I'm not earning like a plastic surgeon, folks.
Yeah, right. Yeah, similar story. So, okay, next question. A pediatrician in Oregon. I inherited a fairly large traditional IRA from my father, which is subject to the 10-year withdrawal rule. Should I withdraw the full amount now in year one, or should I spread it out over the next 10 years? So this is a big tax question that we've been getting fairly often recently.
Okay, so I'm gonna give the very basic, most technical part of this, and then you're gonna elaborate on it. Okay. So if this person who passed, by the way, sorry about the loss, if this person who passed had begun their required minimum distributions, then you have to make required minimum distributions every year over the course of the 10-year period, unless the account is exhausted. So that's the very minimum distribution you can make. Now, Nate, lay on us the tax management.
Yeah, so I talked to Kyle about this because he's all
over it,
deep into this with several of our clients. But it's basically a tax planning question. Assuming you're on track for retirement, you don't need the money for anything. It's really just, how do I minimize taxes on this situation?
Right.
So, if you know that you'll be in a lower tax bracket within the next 10 years, you can take RMDs until the year that you're in that lower tax bracket. So let's say you're close to retirement. And then when you get into that lower tax bracket, you can withdraw the whole thing.
Right.
If you don't expect that to happen, like let's say you're 45 and you're working until you're 60, then you just take it out over 10 years, like evenly distributed over 10 years.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it. Taking the whole thing out all in 1 year essentially could push you up into a new tax bracket.
Yeah.
And so you just have to basically do some tax planning, make sure you don't bump yourself into unnecessary tax brackets.
Yeah.
And, but if for some reason we actually had an entirely different scenario, but it was with an inherited IRA, and this person makes close to $1 million a year already.
So they're already in the top marginal tax bracket.
And
won't
so
make any difference.
At that point, it might be best just to take it all out now, stick it in a taxable account, pay it, a bunch of taxes, stick it in a taxable account so that you can get the growth in a taxable account. It's still in an IRA, it could still be growing, but in a taxable account, you can invest it just like you would for retirement and start those gains to be long-term capital gains.
Yeah, there's a nuance here. If you invest in a way that's going to generate long-term capital gains, and you do that in the inherited IRA, those gains are, when the money comes out, those gains lose their identity. They become taxed as ordinary income, right? Outside that account, they're going to be taxed as gains, and there's a big difference between those two tax rates. So there is an argument to be made for pulling this money out early on and investing it in a taxable brokerage account where you could get capital gains growth, or you could get interest. You could get tax-free interest from municipal bonds. So that's another way to think about this. But the kind of the big picture here is, one, it's personal choice. 2, you have to think about the overall level of your taxes, like what bracket you're in. And third, the object here is to smooth your recognition of taxes. You don't want a big spike in your taxes unless it's intentional.
Right.
All right. Yep. So next question.
Okay. Another Oregon family here, surgeon from Oregon.
What is up with Oregon these days? It's like we live here.
Yeah. All right. While trying to transfer my old 401k to my current 401k, I discovered a portion of my old 401k is Roth. At the same time, my current 401k does not accept Roth rollovers.
Uh-oh.
So in light of this, can I still transfer my old 401k to my current 401k? So yeah, you get the old 401ks providers before tax and Roth 401k transfer out forms. So this is how you do this. So you get the transfer out forms, and you basically request that the before tax portion be transferred into your new 401k.
Right.
And then the Roth portion can go into a Roth IRA. And it's
Perfect.
really as simple as that.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yep. So, but we see this quite a bit. Roth, especially in really old 401k accounts, where people maybe were in a lower tax bracket, it made sense to put money in a Roth.
I would bet a stack of Shipley's Donuts that there are at least a dozen listeners out there that are in a high marginal income tax bracket, perhaps even in a high income tax state rate that have chosen the Roth 401k contribution strategy. And they're going to pay for that forever.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just bad. It's just bad. If you're listening to this show, there's a really high probability you should be putting your money into the traditional 401k, 403b option. And still doing a backdoor Roth, which is a different Roth, and maybe thinking about a mega backdoor Roth, which is yet again a different Roth. So be careful. Roth is not Roth is not Roth.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Get your tax breaks while you can.
Exactly.
All right. Next question. It's an interesting one. A PR agent in Colorado. Okay. So my husband is a full-time specialty physician, and I am a part-time PR agent plus full-time mom.
Okay.
I am eligible to contribute to my 401k plan. Should I max out my 401k even if I have to contribute 90% of my earnings to do so? I get this question more than you think.
Yeah, yes.
Right. You and I will look at each other and think, well, of course you should.
Yeah.
But, there's some confusion like, well, can I do that? Basically, can I not take home a paycheck? And the answer is yes.
So the resounding answer is yes, but give me the but.
Yeah.
Put your butt in here, Nate.
Yeah, right. Obviously, great tax benefits for doing this, but the but is I hear these types of questions, and there's kind of these undertones, and even people will come right out and say it. Just last month, I heard the spouse of a physician say, "What I make at my job is peanuts."
Yep.
And I get where they're coming from, but that's actually just not true.
Yeah.
It's just not true.
Because these people are making like $60,000, $80,000 a year, just compared to what, a specialist physician would make. It is less. But I think to deride that as peanuts, I think that's an insult to peanuts. Maybe almonds or cashews would be better. Perhaps Brazil nuts, but not peanuts.
It's real money.
Yeah.
It's real money. And I've always said that.
Yes.
Just recently I heard someone say it and I thought, I'm going to take this to the next degree and I'm going to show them it's not peanuts.
Yeah.
So she said, it's peanuts or whatever. And we're doing her plan. I said, hey, let me show you what those peanuts are doing for you. And I took, we have our planning software, their plan's all done. And I took her 401k and I took it down to zero.
You threw away the peanuts.
Yes, I threw them away. And guess what? They were all of a sudden 20% behind on retirement.
Yikes.
And of course, you can make that up with other accounts, but not in as good of a tax beneficial way.
Yeah.
So that, if you like working and you don't make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, but you can still make a huge dent in retirement.
Absolutely.
By saving into your 401k.
And that's like what you just talked about there is the equivalent of a nice pension, right?
Right.
And what I find also ironic is that some people will deride a nice pension as peanuts because they don't know the value of it. And really what you're seeing here is these spouses don't know the value of that work. Like the overall value, they don't know the value of a pension. This is very common. And I'm just going to go out on a limb here, folks, and say that maybe that spouse is not being valued by the other one. Think about that. If this is you and your spouse earns materially less than you do, just think about whether or not you're kind of holding this over on them. Maybe you're the king or queen of your house. Maybe you're making them kiss the ring. If this is your spouse, there should be equity there. They should have a voice in the process, a stake in the outcome. That's just Bentley's values. This is the most important person in your life.
Yeah, and I know not everybody does things like this, but I see a ton of success for people who they look at their money as one big pile for family money.
Yep.
And if you don't receive a paycheck,
yep,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's not how you get to it.
And by the way, treating it as one big pile of family money is the best way to optimize your taxes. And I'll go further. If you look at your household's money, you and your spouse, and then you expand that to you and your spouse and your children, that's the best way to preserve wealth and pay less taxes on a generational basis. Now, this is tricky because most people, they can't get their mom and dad on board, or their mom and dad are concerned that the kids will take off with the assets or waste it or whatever. But if you can get everybody around the same table and have a discussion about this, you can save thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars in state and federal estate taxes and sometimes income taxes. And you can make a huge difference in your child's life and perhaps your grandchildren's life along the way. You can literally change the course of your family.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So was that the last question?
Nope, one more.
Oh gosh. Wow. Yep. I was winding up here. Hold on. I got to get re-injiggered. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Get ready because it's a doozy.
It's a doozy. Okay.
All right, we have a double doctor family in New Hampshire.
Okay.
They said, we max out all our accounts at work, and we regularly contribute to a 529 for our 2 children.
Okay.
We still have extra money. What do we do with it?
Should I give them my home address where they mail the check?
Yep.
Save the children.
Yeah.
My children. Yeah.
Yeah. This screams we don't have goals.
It does.
We don't have real goals.
Oh, that totally slipped by me. They're maxing out their accounts, but
yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. Are you going to say plan? Because I don't have my kombucha here to drink today.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I am going to say plan. So what's the first step for a great plan is you need to team up with your spouse and make some real goals.
Goals.
Maxing out your accounts, that's good. Putting money in other accounts like 529s, that's great.
Yep.
These are not goals.
Nate, what else is not a real goal?
I want to be financially independent.
How about passive income?
Yeah, passive income. Those are not goals. Those are not bad things.
Yeah.
They're just not goals. So, Ben, what's
Yes.
an example of a great goal?
Oh, a great goal? I want to make a difference in the lives of others while maintaining an excellent relationship with my wife and children, and retire when I'm ready, which is probably in my mid to late 60s. And at that time, I want to enjoy a comfortable standard of living that is somewhat like the standard of living that I have right now. You could express that in dollars. I want to make sure that all my health bills are covered. I want to make sure that there's enough in my personal finances to be able to pay for long-term care if my spouse or I should need it. I want to make sure that my kids can afford to go to an in-state undergraduate 4-year college. I want my house to be paid off. I don't want to have to worry about money in retirement. And I want to be able to travel to to international destinations a year, and definitely take my spouse and maybe take my kids and grandkids. There's a goal.
There's a goal right there.
Yeah.
So, just putting money in these accounts and wondering what to do with your extra money, that doesn't really cut it.
Yeah.
So this is what I hear pretty often though. After we've created these great goals, like, and all those things that you said, that usually is a great starting point. And then, like you said, you actually put numbers to it, so you know what you're aiming at.
Exactly.
But what's interesting is lately I've been writing plans for new families, and we'll get there, and they'll say, "Yeah, this seems like kind of easy." Retiring at 65 for a double doctor family,
doable.
You can do that pretty easy. Sending your kids to a in-state public school, it's kind of difficult, but still like totally doable.
It's more expensive now than ever before, but doable.
Yeah, and so what's interesting is once you lay out these really great goals, you see what it takes to get there, and you say, I'll still have extra money. Now you can play with the numbers and decide, okay, am I going to spend this money or am I going to adjust my goals?
Right.
Because let's say you still had an extra several $1,000s a month for a double doctor family, that's not uncommon. You can decide, I want to retire earlier. I want to take more vacations with my family. I want to work less now.
Nate, I would go so far as to say that they're in a physician's world, because they're not .com billionaires, right? In a physician's world, there is no such thing as extra money. There is only lazy money and money that lacks a purpose.
What's lazy money?
Lazy money is money that just sits there and doesn't do anything. I mean, it's by definition, it's lacking a purpose as well. So, basically purposeless money. This is the person who lingers in your basement. No purpose, right? So purposeless money is sad, because it can have purpose. It can wake up in the morning and it can go to work for you and help you achieve great things or bring interesting things into the world or make a difference in the lives of others. That's happy money.
Yeah,
so
if you don't,
maybe happy money and sad money. Yeah.
What I see too is if you don't have a purpose for it, a lot of physicians still aren't big spenders, and it just piles up and does nothing.
Yeah, lazy money.
Lazy money.
Or very sad money.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to coin this right now: happy money and sad money.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll end with this. I believe you should save enough, but kind of uncommon for financial advisors to say this. But once you've saved enough, you're really happy with your goals, you should spend the rest.
Sounds good to me. Yeah. Okay. And on that note, I'll wind it up. We are certified financial planners. There are 4 of us here. We love working with doctors. That's what we do all the time. I think right now we're serving a couple hundred physicians plus in 40 plus states. So if you would be interested in being one of those people, it's super simple. Go to physicianfamily.com and click get started, and then you can set up an interview. You'll get to talk with me live over video. Pro tip, I look the same and I sound the same, so you just won't see the mic. Or if you're not ready for that, you can drop us a question at podcast@physicianfamily.com. And so until next time, remember, you're not just making a living, you're making a life.
Thank you for listening to the Physician Family Financial Advisors podcast. Are you getting all the tax breaks you really deserve? To find out, get your copy of the Overtaxed Doctors Retirement Investing Checklist, available at physicianfamily.com/go. This show is for educational purposes only and is not personalized advice. Consult your tax advisor before taking action. All investments involve risk of loss. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. Read show notes for full disclosure.